This is episode 3 of the series How I Started My Small Business, the series where I document my journey from a simple idea to my very first hardware product, a solar-powered weather station. In the last episode, I showed you the electronic components I got for the first prototype. Today, I'm going to talk about everything I've done since then, and a massive shift in my plan. A shift so big it changes what this company is going to be. You see, after reflecting on my goals and my early results, I've made a decision. I decided to launch a software startup. I know what you're thinking right now. Is this guy crazy? Aren't you committed to building a hardware product? And you are totally right, my friend. I'm still 100% committed to launching that weather station I showed you in episode 1. But to transfer this idea into a successful product that people actually love, I need to operate like a software startup. I know that might sound confusing, but trust me, by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why this decision makes sense. It's going to be a game changer. So why a startup model? Of all the business types out there, why did I choose this one? It's because, as Eric Heise explained in his amazing book, The Lean Startup, startups operate in an environment of extreme uncertainty. Let me break that down. The world is changing fast. What was a profitable company yesterday may not be one tomorrow. This uncertain environment is challenging for everyone, but it's especially hard for beginners like me. So trying to succeed in this chaos requires a special kind of model, a model built for learning and adapting quickly. And that's where the startup model comes in. Since I'm taking my first steps and I'm full of doubt, there is no better way to focus my efforts than on building a startup. But what does every startup need to overcome uncertainty? It needs a tool to test its biggest assumptions and get real data. And that tool is called the MVP. MVP stands for Minimal Viable Product. This is the very first version of your product with just enough features to be useful for early adopters. Its main goal isn't to be perfect, it's to test your core assumptions and bring back valuable data. If you're feeling a bit lost with all these new terms, don't worry. Please don't skip this video, it will all connect in a moment. So my MVP will be a weather station that predicts rain with 60% accuracy. Now I can hear some of you screaming that 60% accuracy is way too low, and for a finished product you'd be right. But for a first version, it's exactly where I need to start. Remember, the goal is to test assumptions, not to launch a final product. In my case, I've identified 4 main assumptions I need to test. This is where the idea of a software startup will start to make perfect sense. Assumption number 1. Current weather stations used by farmers do not provide valuable data analysis and forecasting. I've noticed that many weather stations on the market provide raw data and nothing else. They can tell you the temperature, atmospheric pressure, and wind speed with high precision, and that's it. But the information alone often isn't enough. If these devices were smarter and provided accurate data analysis and weather forecasting, farmers could make much better decisions. They could optimize their use of resources like water and fertilizer, saving a lot of money. Which leads us directly to assumption number 2. Farmers could save thousands of dollars on resources if they had access to accurate weather analysis. It's simple. Better data leads to better decision making. Now, the big companies in this market focus intensely on the hardware. They want to build the greatest, most accurate weather station possible. But look at me. I'm a regular guy who loves building tech stuff. I'm not a professional engineer. I have almost no chance of beating them at their own game. So I'm going to win by playing my game, software development. My idea is to focus on the data analysis that leads to those better, measurable decisions that save thousands of dollars. That's the gold mine I believe is worth pursuing. The weather station itself is just a step to reach that bigger goal. And that is assumption number 3. The unique value proposition is not the hardware itself, but the software that powers it. Finally, assumption number 4. My potential clients are small farmers. I initially thought about designing a cheap but reliable solution for small farmers worldwide, but I'm not sure if they are actually interested in something like this. This is a huge assumption I need to test. If you are a small farmer or you know someone who is, I put my email address in the description below. Please drop me a message. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Your opinion matters a lot to me and is crucial for building something truly valuable. I truly hope this MVP will be a powerful tool to test these 4 assumptions. The results will guide every crucial decision I make next, from defining our target client to our revenue model. If you are still with me, you are probably thinking, okay, but how are you actually going to build this MVP? And what about all those electronic components you got from Allegro? Don't worry, my friend, we are getting to that. To build my minimal viable product, I've broken down into 4 smaller projects: electronics, enclosure, coding, and sales. Let's quickly review each one. First up, electronics. In this stage, I will use pre-made modules for fast testing, but the final product needs a single custom PCB. It's a cheaper and more reliable solution. Now, I have one partner help me with this project. They provided me with the first modules and are supporting me with a custom PCB and a 3D printed enclosure. By the way, if you don't know them yet, let me introduce you to a company that can actually make your hardware dreams come true. Electro is one of the top global providers of manufacturing services. With more than a decade of experience, they are experts in offering PCB services like manufacturing and assembling. But not only that, Electro also offers 3D printing, CNC machining, subassembling, warehousing services, and more. If you have an idea for a hardware product you'd like to build, I highly recommend you reach out to them. I've put a link to their online store in the description below. Thank you Electro for supporting this series and helping make my entrepreneurial dream real. Now, let's get back to our flowchart. As I told you, Electro sent me the first components. I tested them and most worked pretty well. The LoRa modules for wireless communication, the UV sensor, the light sensor, and others. I'll keep them in my inventory and get some new ones to prototype quickly before moving to the final PCB. And speaking of PCBs, I have to show you the first one I designed. This thing is embarrassing. Seriously, look at this. If you know anything about PCB design, you can probably spot at least 10 different errors. This was the first PCB I ever designed in my life. The idea was to create a shield where I could connect all the modules through a central ESP32, but after I shared it on Reddit, I received dozens of replies pointing out my mistakes. I am so thankful for the electronics community. They taught me about track thickness, area fields, and so much more. I'm also thankful to Electro for manufacturing this, even though it turned out to be useless. As you can probably see, the tracks are so thin the board could easily burn out, so I'm definitely not going to use it. Now let's move on to the enclosure. Well, look at this, bro. As you can see, I broke it by handling it incorrectly, but even if it was intact, I wouldn't use it. It has some problems. It's too big and the internal PCB supports are in the wrong place, so I can't even screw the modules in. Yeah man, another creation that makes me feel embarrassed. I didn't put much attention or effort into it, and the result shows. For now, I won't design a new enclosure. I will focus on the electronics and coding first. Once those are solid, I will create a proper enclosure that fits the project's needs. Next, we have coding. This is what I believe to be the most important part of the entire project. This is the true value, what will differentiate us from the competition. I've never coded software that uses weather data for predictions before. I think this is a problem that could benefit from AI model, but I'm not sure yet. I need to study more. At least for the MVP, I'll try to solve it with traditional methods, meaning no complex artificial intelligence. I don't want the MVP to become too complicated and take forever to finish. My goal is to finish the electronics part as fast as I can do, so I can pour all my energy into developing the algorithms that power everything. And if everything works, we move to the final part. Sales. Well, in my case, I don't actually want to sell the first units. I want to give them away. I want to give away some MVPs so people can test them and tell me what they think. Their feedback will be the data I use to evaluate my assumptions and build a better product, one that's truly ready for the market. This will help me decide what to stick with and what to pivot away from. I've already tried to get in touch with people who have used weather stations to learn about their needs, but so far, only one person answered my call and the response wasn't very valuable. So, convincing people to use my invention will be challenging, but this is where you can help me. My email is in the description. If you are interested in this product or know someone who could be, please message me. I'm open to all suggestions and eager to chat with potential customers. Understanding their needs is the only way I can build something useful for them. I also created a waiting list for those of you who are interested in this product. Join this waiting list by clicking on the link below. You'll be notified when I launch the weather station. I also share some business tips from time to time, so I think it's a good deal for you. To tie all this together and actually accomplish the MVP, I created a 10-step roadmap. Step number 1. Learn electronics and PCB design. This is my main focus right now. I'm still using the book Practical Electronics for Inventors, but I've added new resources. I'm taking the 6002X Circuits and Electronics course from MIT on ETX, which is fantastic. I'm also following KiCad tutorials on YouTube like the great ones from PCB Cupid to get better at PCB design. This learning is already paying off. I designed another PCB. This one is for an 8x8 RGB LED matrix, a different project I will share soon. As you can see, it looks way better than my first attempt, even if it's not perfect. I've also built my own little electronics lab. If you watched my 500 subscribers celebration video, you saw my recording space. Now look at it. I've got a soldering iron, a multimeter, a helping hand, and lots of drawers for all my components, motors, capacitors, sensors, wires. I want to learn the theory, but I also need to practice it. Step number 2. Learn about weather forecasting. Let's be real, I'm not a meteorologist, but I need to understand the basics to create the algorithms I mentioned. The Phillips Guide to Weather Forecasting seems like a great place to start, and I'll dive into that when I reach the coding phase. Step number 3. Learn about precise agriculture. Once I understand the weather, I need to learn how it's used in farming to make decisions. I have 2 books ready to go, Handbook of Precision Agriculture and Weather and Agriculture. Step number 4. Prototype using pre-made modules. I will test different sensors for accuracy and durability before I lock in the final PCB design. Step number 5. Design the final PCB. Step number 6. Code the data analysis software. Step number 7. Design a proper 3D printed enclosure. Step number 8. Provide 1 to 5 weather stations for free to farmers for testing. Step number 9. Collect feedback and evaluate my assumptions. Step number 10. Stick or pivot. Do I continue or do I change direction based on what I've learned? These 10 steps are my plan for launching what I see as a software startup that builds its own hardware. This brings me back to my original point. As Steve Jobs' family said, quoting Alan Kay, at the iPhone launch in 2007, people who are really serious about software should make their own hardware. That is the why behind my pivot to a software startup. The software can only thrive on great hardware, and vice versa. It's a symbiotic relationship. That's why it no longer makes sense for me to focus solely on the electronics. I will build a weather station so it can run an amazing algorithm. An algorithm capable of providing analysis and forecasting that actually brings value to the table, helping farmers save thousands of dollars. After these 10 steps, I see 3 possible outcomes. Outcome number 1. Lots of failures lead to the end of their startup. It's the worst case scenario. The company fails, the MVP fails, and I have to give up on this project and move on. Outcome number 2. The company survives, but the weather station isn't worth pursuing. In this scenario, the startup model and my approach proved valuable, but this specific product doesn't. Here, I would stick with the business but pivot to a different product. Outcome number 3. The company and the product survive. They grow and become something bigger. This is what I'm aiming for, the definition of success. The business model works, the MVP is a hit, and the next stage is to scale it into a great product and get it to market. If I'm lucky enough to reach outcome number 3, I have a dream for how to finish this series. I want to go to China and film the weather station being manufactured. I know companies ship worldwide and I could just show you the final product arriving at my home, but I don't think that would be a great ending. I want to show inventors worldwide that their ideas can become something real, a product that people use and love. To me, the manufacturing process would be an amazing and inspiring conclusion. So if you want to see a final episode like that, please help me make it happen. Subscribe to this channel and share this video with a friend who is trying to create a hardware product or company. As this series grows, that dream gets closer to becoming reality. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Your support means everything on this journey. If you enjoyed this deep dive into my new plan, you'll also love the video that's appearing on your screen right now. Click on it because I'm sure it will help you improve your own maker skills.